We see them daily on the streets, pushing over laden carts filled with all types of material. To some, they are seen as a hindrance, pests on the road as they drag their big carts, forcing cars to swerve around them. Not only do they obstruct traffic on the road, but these collectors are hardly visible in bad weather or in the early hours of the morning. And that makes this useful service a potential road hazard. These waste pickers or micro collectors are not simply making a living for themselves. They are providing a useful service to our cities. They keep our environment clean and make sure that we recycle a lot more instead of just disposing of our household waste. They make a positive economic and environmental impact. They are a crucial part of a much wider solution to waste management in South Africa. Welcome to another exciting episode of PHAKISA. I'm your host, Lerato Za. Today we start off with 28-year-old Phumla Hlakuta, a micro collector from Soweto who discovered that there is worth in waste. As a single mother, Phumla saw a great opportunity in collecting waste and took it to the next level, empowering herself and her community. Masihlangane naye Phumla.
My name is Phumla Hlakuta. I live in Freedom Park. The cooperative that I'm in is a great opportunity, a recycling company. I was traveling from here to Kensington. I saw that I'm in a loss. When I was working there, I normally run away from the school driver, who picks my child to the school because sometimes I can't pay him. And I used to borrow people's money. There was another lady who told me about Redisa. We called Redisa. They attended us well. They told us that we have to be a cooperative of 5 members or above. There are other people who are also interested. When I told them about the tire business, they accepted us. We started making our Redisa cards. Our first payment, we first shared 60 rand each. Others were excited. How? These things pays, it really pays. And then I was, how? 60 rand, these people are happy for 60 rand. And then after that, we made our second load. It's where I saw the money and said, oh, yeah, this is real. So when I started doing recycling, I started realizing that I can buy myself shoes, I can do whatever I want to do. Every morning we gathered here, we use a taxi, sometimes we use our car. Maybe 3 people will be in that car, depending on which people are going to which side, because we usually split when we go. Some of us go to town, some of us go to Vrydag, and some of us go to another location. We don't collect around Freedom Park because there are few people who are changing tires. We decided to go to Joburg. Last Chippies Town, esikhathini esiningi sisebenzelelana, but kuye kube nzinyana ngoba fanele ukuthi i-taxi sishiyele kude sikhuphuke nyenyawo size la and kusithatha isikhathi eside ukuthi sifike ngapha. Enye into esiye sibe nenkinga nayo ukuthi masiqeda ukucollecta la matayara lawa la esiwabeka khona endaweni esizibeka kuzo kude nala estopha khona.
Igama lami ngibongiwe Hlakuta, ngihlala e-Freedom Park. Ngafika lapha 94. La bengisebenza khona, imali yakhona beyincane, ngingakhona ukusiza abantwana bami. I-great opportunity ngiya-enjoya because of I'm not working for someone, I'm working for me.
Igama lami Sabelo Madlala, 18 years old. I'm doing grade 12. I'm not yet working, but I'm a cooperative. It's a good starter for me because I'm young. I'm still going to get a lot of experience. I'm going to be able to pay for my own school fees if I need some fees and pay for some things if I need some clothes.
Hello. Yeah, ukuphi manje ngoba sesiqedile ucollecta amatayara. One of our cooperative member is the owner of the truck, so he said we should use the truck, but we should put the fuel. One lesson I learned is that when you do something, don't look what people will say. You don't have to write a CV and wait for a call. You can do something for yourself by collecting these small things, and then you get something out of it to push life. Our aim is to open a recycling company.
The recycling economy in South Africa alone is worth 25 billion rands. Phumla is taking advantage of this and slowly cutting her piece from that pie. Clearly, waste is being seen as an economic driver. we ask banker turned social entrepreneur Usfiso Ngobese of Abomakgereza why he took that leap.
The whole idea came about 2 years back when I interacted with a lady by the name of Mama Poso, who used to come to my house on a regular basis collecting recyclable material. She was collecting things like paper, cans, boxes, so she can feed her 3 children. I decided to get involved by building a dummy trolley. Dummy trolley became our first prototype, and we realized that there might be a market opportunity whereby not only do we give this trolley to Mama Poso, but we can make it a much more long-term and much more sustainable initiative by putting branding on the trolley and inviting companies to put any content or any advertisement on the trolley. And that's how the Abomakgereza project was born. PHAKISA is a township slang word which can be loosely translated to recycling hustlers. The basic need that is addressing is the issue of safety, dignity, visibility on the road. The trolleys have a reflective material. They've got a braking system, so the guy can just easily put on the brake, collect his material. The trolley won't roll down the road. It's got a handle, so the guy can easily put the handle, pull or push the trolley and lock it in as well. It's lighter as well because it's made out of recyclable plastic. They can collect more waste using our trolleys. It's got much more capacity. The guys can put about 2 or 4 bags, allowing them to collect more waste. Another benefit that we've seen is the fact that the community is much more receptive. So we give them a sense of dignity, a sense of visibility in communities. We'd love to scale it into other municipalities and just, increase the impact and touch more lives of informal waste pickers in the country. We're going to be scaling the project in other municipalities as well, in other provinces as well. We've partnered with the likes of City of Johannesburg, the IDC, so we'll be rolling the project on a nationwide scale and impacting more lives of Abomakgereza.
Njengoba nizibonele uSfiso is thinking outside the box. Masibuya emva kwekhefu riya Mabopane ko Pretoria to see how the micro collectors there work. Koketso Mokali also saw the potential in starting a co-op centered around waste management. Now he started the Easy Touch Cooperative. The small community of Winterveld in Mabopane, Pretoria now reaps the benefits of an efficient waste management system, while Koketso and his partners enjoy the satisfaction of self-employment. Koketso, thank you so much for joining us here on PHAKISA. Tell me, how did this co-op come about?
Before I gave a recycling plant, yeah, you recycle the tire. While I was on my own at home, then kanahana hore. But the tires say people just throw the tires everywhere. I met with Redisa people. They showed me how can I move forward with the idea that I had. That is when I started the cooperative with my colleagues.
What do you guys do exactly?
We're picking up the tires from the streets.
Before you started the Easy Touch Co-op?
Right, but I needed to make a change.
We rang with this co-op.
Company register into thata ke khono fepa bana ba ka le family ya ka a o tshwane nyana ka nne ke ntse mo hae ke sna mmereko ke snang.
Otswamo 9 to 5 is stable.
Yeah.
How do you come to that decision? That's a very difficult decision to make because now there's no stable income like before.
I needed to help people. The guys that I grew up with, about opportunities and nagiri.
How long has Easy Touch Co-op been operating?
Easy Touch to me last year.
Are there any changes more community improvement that this co-op has made?
Yeah, repudile a change. Yes, but zadiba he purne. Banavaruna at least arsala tator banavaruna ababereki.
Asaka ko problema luitola how le hore o irang mo merekong.
Bitsola ka ke nna e supporta. Ena nanga e rubuletse menyako e mentsi ka nna ba ba ne re sa bereki since and since re decide I khona re bulela menyako e mentsi.
Are the minds of the communities that you serve changed at all about waste management?
People are aware of what we are doing now.
What is the long-term plan? Yeah, Easy Touch Co-op.
A long-term plan, yeah, Easy Touch. Kohore, recreate a land. and then make a depot where we can crush the tires. We can make the tire chips out of them. People who do the steel, they use the chips. Then maybe the truck at the whole but around the community, but collect the tire.
Bianong re kana strateng le koketso le team ya hae re bone hore ba ira mmereko o byang instead of just talking about it. Ntate Simon kopa o re botsa your full name le hore o berekela company efeng and o irang ko teng.
Ke nna Simon Pungwa re berekela Easy Touch.
Kopa re bolelle hore process ya lona e qala byang e fella byang.
O seng ba re fitla ra kopana re emele batho ba re thusa batho re thusa re tshware himinyana le small prayer
mo go tsotlhe tse re di etsang ba le boame.
Thereafter ba tswang ba ya fielding ba tswa and then ba mabasala ba ira tipa work and then re thoma per thoma ka letsatsi le level le route tsa rena ro tswa ba nga tsi ro collecta ko kae bang.
Ha le koleka mataira le a beya mo truckeng, then what happens?
Ha re koleka mataira ro beya mo truckeng ba bang ba laisa o mongwe pa and then ya tlo a develop from one place to another. Ro tseya maybe 200 300 ro laisa mo truckeng re tloela a ro deliver and then thereafter re boela hape mo re tse mataira mangwe hape and then re contain ka January until e be tlala hape tra.
Ha le atisa mona, what's the process?
Re ma one by one corner to corner re khona mo ra pushetsana o lo pushitsa o lo mo pushitsa o mo wa pa o mo wa push o mo pushitsa o mo wa pa until aba fell.
Ha le pakile mataira a lona, what's the next process? Go etsa lang ka mataira?
Ra phone le redisa ba transport or ba khona o tla ba tla collect.
Igama lami nguSimangaliso Mlambo. Ngi-field representative for iRegisa. Yimi ngimake sure on the field ukuthi ama-co-ops nama-micro collector ngiyawasupporta ey'ntweni ezihlukile abazidingayo bangitshela ukuthi kukuphi la singalungisa khona thina esiRegisa ukuthi sibasize. Ama-documents abo okurejista i-co-op yithi sibasize futhi sibathathe step by step futhi sibanike ne-training ukuthi ibhizinisi liranwa kanjani.
Manje-ke asichazele kabanzi i-relationship yenu ne-Easy Touch Primary Cooperative.
Bayazi nabo ukuthi noma ngasiphi isikhathi bangaphakamisa ifoni basifonele ukuthi iRegisa sinenkinga enje simanga sinenkinga enje so indlela esibasiza ngayo.
I-Easy Touch Primary Cooperative isasentsha. What's their potential?
Kuqala kugogetswe noSimon mongathi uyabheka manje sebana 30 yama-member so ngibabona bakhula.
Now finally, is there space for more cooperatives to be established? And if there is, how would you advise people to establish their own?
Kunaso space sokuthi sibe nawo ama-co-op. Mabafuna ukujoyina iRegisa bangaya ku-website yethu, they can contact i-call center yethu and then bazobasiza ukurejista ama-co-op abo.
There is a wealth of opportunity awaiting entrepreneurs in the waste management sector. Now, in a short space of time, Redisa has illustrated how a recycling economy can generate millions by just managing tires. Imagine if that stream of thinking was applied to other waste material. Now, that's something to think about, right? Ngaindao, Society Dolo, Siabuya Konamanj.
My name is Lavinia Engelbrecht. I work for the Department of Environmental Affairs in Communication, and I'd like to show you some of the little things that I'm doing in my garden and around the home. And what I've started to do here is to plant a lot of my own fruits, herbs and vegetables, even some chilies as well. I love spicy food. You don't really need a garden to do this. If you live in a flat or a townhouse like I used to, you can even do container gardening, and I can show you some of the containers that I have in the courtyard. All right, I mentioned that you don't need a big garden to start growing things at home. If you live in a flat or a townhouse or you just have a balcony space, you can actually use containers to grow your own vegetables, herbs, and so on. Some of the interesting plants that I have here include this African herbal remedy, lingana. The scientific name is Artemisia afra. So when you've got colds and flu, This is often what our grandmothers used to plant, and you make a tea out of it or an infusion and you use that. I also have some mint growing, basil. Over here I have a variety of salad greens, rocket, all kinds of lettuces. I've got spring onions as well, and even some chilies. So you can really, in a small compact space, grow a lot. Our garden is quite big and it creates a lot of waste, and we try not to put that waste into landfills or back into the environment. So what we've started to do with all our grass clippings, the fallen leaves, we rake them up into a compost heap. And this helps us to keep an organic garden. The compost heap breaks down. We even put in our kitchen waste there. We've got, I see still some spring onions and an old potato that's there. We use that back into the garden to feed the plants and everything else that we're growing. As part of being sustainable, we also keep 3 chickens. I've got here Paris, Solange, and Lindsay. They are fantastic egg layers. These are the most delicious eggs I've ever had in my life. I don't even remember the last time I bought eggs from the store. The other benefit of keeping chickens is that you can use their manure in the garden. I've brought out my dustbins to show you how we do waste separation at source. We separate our household waste into the general waste, which is a mix of things that you can't necessarily recycle. We also have glass here, so all our old mayonnaise bottles, iced tea and all of that, we put that in the glass. We also have our paper, so boxes of packaging, newspapers and all of that. These are some of the things that we try and do at home to make a positive impact on the environment. We have an organic garden, we separate waste, we also compost, and we use the chicken manure to make an excellent fertilizer. So I hope that you've been able to take something away that you can do at home to also benefit the environment and make a positive change in your life.
Lavinia does all of that in an urban area, and there's really no reason why you and I can't do more to be eco-friendly. Now, waste management has the ability to be exponentially successful. We see how this works for our communities at the Institute of Race Relations. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us here on PHAKISA. We just want to find out briefly, what does the IRR do on a daily basis?
The IRR is a think tank, and the idea is to promote classic liberal thought and policy with a very heavy emphasis on the economy. What we do is we try to influence policy. We put out alternative policies on issues across the spectrum, really to try and get government, business, the individual to look at things in a different way.
Now, how are you able to pinpoint the benefits of the circular economy in communities?
Since everything is economics, and our biggest problem is unemployment, the circular economy, which is essentially taking a product from its creation and returning it virtually to where it came from, meets a number of needs. And of course, one of the predominant needs is improvement in economy, which means business creation, which means job creation. But the beauty of the circular economy is it also deals with renewing the lifespan of products and the environment.
Now, what are the potentials of a fully fledged circular economy?
It's been proven in the tyre industry with Redisa. Their ability to collect and recycle tyre products has actually been extraordinary. And I think the area that we really need to get to immediately is plastic. A, because it can, and B, because plastic is a great destroyer of the environment.
What are the challenges at present of instituting such ideas as recycling plastic?
Perhaps let me put the very positive first, and that is because plastic is so prolific in our society, it's everywhere. The scope for creating small business to collect plastic, to provide for recycling, I think is huge. So the potential for job creation at a very micro level and at a larger level is there. Our main concern is just that the model whereby the private sector manages and the government enables, as has happened with Redisa, is a good model and it works really well. We think it can be done particularly with plastics and further on into other areas. But plastics is really such a huge participation area that it would be a pity that what's worked, if there's any temptation to move away from it. So we're really encouraging that the model that involves government and the private sector together be sustained. It's workable.
Being mindful at how we look at waste in our own homes goes a long way in preserving the environment and reducing our carbon footprint. Our boy Twiza shows us practical ways of how to do it.
Greetings, Damas and Yara, ladies and gentlemen, Gladys and Benjamin, and welcome to another EnviroTip segment on your favorite show, PHAKISA. As your boy Twiza have an EnviroTip for you. Do you have green fingers and can't afford to constantly buy pots for your plants? Worry not, you don't have to sneeze for me to bless you with this week's EnviroTip. Now after quenching your thirst from your 2-liter bottle of your favorite refreshment, please do not disregard the bottle because it is the essential piece that goes into the whole puzzle. And you'll need a CD because we're gonna spray paint on it and use it as the base to this whole pot plant solution. You need a can of spray paint, preferably your favorite color. And on this side, we're gonna need super glue. It's a sticky situation, folks. Craft knife to create that incision, and a pair of scissors for your design, you know, just to make it very nice. So now we're going deep into the process. Cut the bottle half. And voila, half and half. But you need the better half. Take out the lid. Now all you have to do is just smear a bit of glue. You're gonna stick the sticky part at the bottom of the lid to the CD as such and allow it to dry. So while we were waiting for the glue to dry, all you need to do is cut this into a beautiful pattern, you know, a design of some sort like this. Not bad for a beginner, right? All you need to do now is spray it, but spray it in the inside, just to give it a bit of color, you know? Not bad, ne? Now that the base is dry, we can now connect the two together to create a fully fledged pot plant. Next, we'll just take some nice soil, add it to the plant. Next, you're gonna take the plant itself. Pull out one plant, nice and carefully, so it doesn't tatter, and put it in the pot. And then more soil just around it to make sure that it's actually steady. And voila, le pot plant, recycling. And that is your EnviroTip for the week. Toodles.
You can get the step-by-step instructions on our Facebook page, and would also love to hear from you on Facebook, Twitter, and please do send and share your pictures on our Instagram page. The basic principle of a co-op is to come together and address a common need. uKwaketso no Phumla have evidently proved the validity of that principle. Not only did they create jobs for themselves, but they created jobs and a much-needed service for their communities. And indeed, they found worth in waste. Until next week, Mzansi, let's keep the cycle going. I'm your host, Lerato Za. Mwah.